All right, Eric, calm down there, big guy. Welcome to the Flipside. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me here. I am Sam Healy, the person who is running late, as per usual. I'm going to close the door over here so that we are good to go. Roar. All right. Let's see here. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Oh, I guess it is afternoon where you are, Vanessa. Good to see you. Victoria Ketchum, good morning. Do not forget live chat, everybody. I know that people have put some of that in the chat already, but make sure you change your top chat to live chat so you can see everything that's going on. Welcome to the Flipside. We do things a little loosey-goosey around here because, I'm just sometimes a forgetful person. And it's not that I forget to do things, it's just that I remember late sometimes. That because I'm doing one thing, I'm getting like super laser focused on trying to get that set up. The editing rig that I use, that I've used since I worked for the Dice Tower, is now kind of giving up the ghost. So I had to purchase, had to use savings to purchase a new iMac. So I was in my editing bay trying to get that set up, trying to get that running, printing out my tax documents. There's just a lot of things that happen in the mornings, and sometimes even though I know that I have something starting at 10:30, I just get head down and I'm like, oh, I've got plenty of time. And and then I look at, oh crap, it's 10:27. And it's just how my brain works, and I am working on trying to get better. And I promise you I am. I promise you I'm trying to get better. But it's just one of those things that requires a little bit of patience on your part, and I appreciate it. I really do. Except for Eric. Eric, I don't require your patience. Just double barrel me, man. It's okay. It's all right. No worries. Top of the morning to you, Nick says. Well, top of the morning to you as well. Good afternoon, everyone. Vanessa Phillips, Ombrick, hello. Tommy Miller, hello. And I thought I was late. Philip, you're never late, buddy. You arrive precisely when you mean to. There you go. See? There you go. Hit live, Sam. I know, right? I did this time, actually. It's already over. No, it's not, Luke. Stop doing that. I might get in trouble for that. No, you won't get in trouble, Tom. Believe me, compared to Eric, you're a saint. Let's see how the stream gets screwed up today. He'll probably forget to wear pants. Well, if I do, or rather if I did, you'll never know. Actually, you will, because I stood up and walked over and closed the door. I didn't forget to wear pants, bro. Let's see here. This isn't only tube. That is correct. It is not, and it never will be. You can feel safe in that. Let's see here. I blame how cold it is. It's slowing down the internet. No, it's not slowing down the internet. I'm just late. At least if he forgets pants, we can't see the half of them. Well, you did, and you know I'm wearing pants. I can't do that. I know that's like a total like meme-worthy type thing where people just dress top half since COVID because you can only see the top half of my... No, I will never do that. I am not at all comfortable in that type of situation. So even if I'm sitting, I would be totally concerned that I would stand up to do something and forget that I was just wearing pajamas or wearing shorts or, heaven forbid, wearing underwear or whatever. Casually gets up so we can see. Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. I would casually do something and forget that I didn't dress from the bottom down, and that mortifies me. So I never do that. Nice Game Toppers hoodie. Yes, that is what it is. Game Toppers hoodie. What? So yeah, that's what we're doing. When are we going to get a top 10 excuses for not starting the live stream video? I might just do that, David. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we won't. At least if he forgets pants, we can't see the half of them. Yeah, we already read that. Had to reload the browser to fix the stream on my end. We have started. Oh, okay. It's afternoon and it's negative 10 degrees outside. Wow, Scott. Dang. Negative 10. That's pretty stinking cold. It's insanely cold. I'm missing the Caribbean right now. I was looking over my pictures this morning. LOL. Set phone alarm, genius. I would, but that requires the thought to do that, the forethought to do that. And so, yeah, I probably won't do that, actually. Gunnar Johannesson is here. What's up, Gunnar? Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Luke Shirus. Wow, Scott Drews, that's cold. We're basking in plus 23 degrees here in Washington State. Yeah, that's about how it is right now. Let's see, what is my phone? What does my phone tell me that it is? Let's go over to my weather. 27 degrees. I've got you beat, Luke. The high today is going to be 34. The low was 17. And that's what we're looking at for the entirety of this week and most of next week. We have got some incredibly low temperatures. But again, I know that there's a lot of places in the country that are getting much lower than that. So my thoughts will go out to you. Thank you for not doing that. You are correct. You're welcome, Eric. It's currently 11 degrees in here in Pennsylvania. It was -4 this morning when I woke up. It is 4 in Western Michigan. Wow, man. I know it's getting super, super cold because Tom Vazel, he just texted me this morning. He said that his kids are super excited because they're supposed to get 1 to 5 inches of snow in Pensacola, Florida. My dad also texted me this morning and said that they're supposed to get 2 to 6 inches of snow in Gulf Shores, Alabama. I know Tim, I was recording a podcast with Tim, the Western Contingent, yesterday. No, was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday morning. And he said that his flight today was canceled because they're expecting up to 6 inches of snow in Louisiana, in New Orleans. So this is crazy talk, y'all. The last time this happened that I was affected in the South with snow was in, I believe it was 1984. We got a foot of snow in San Antonio. And it was incredibly uncharacteristic. So, us up in the north, we have, our cities and our towns and our counties, we are prepared for that kind of stuff, and 6 inches is nothing. It's literally nothing. Nothing stops, nothing shuts down. We've got the roads plowed and everything's good to go by the time everybody's up and around. But 1 to 6 inches in the South, Pensacola, Gulf Shores, Alabama, New Orleans, Louisiana, they don't have the infrastructure set up, so that can be devastating. So let's keep that in our minds and in our hearts as they go into it. Let's just pray that nothing too crazy happens. I have a comment about the podcast. New Year's Day just isn't just another day. It is a day off. That is true, Matthew. It is a day off for most people, right? For most people, not everybody, because you still go places on New Year's Day, and you do, a lot of people don't have those days off. But yes, for some, it is a day off. It is not just another day. I can agree with you on that one, buddy. Thank you for listening to the podcast, by the way. Tim and I are really enjoying doing those discussions together. We love, each other's company. So the fact that you guys are enjoying it is just, kind of the icing on the cake for us. We just enjoy talking to each other, and we enjoy having those discussions. So the fact that we can do it in that kind of format to where you guys can jump in, that is awesome. So thank you for watching and for listening, because I think that's a cool thing. As a former Alaskan, Ryan says, I feel for y'all with negative temps, 22 degrees here in eastern Tennessee. Hopefully it doesn't get any colder. It could, but we'll see. My aunt and uncle are in Myrtle Beach and are getting an inch of snow. Wow, Myrtle Beach. What? That's crazy talk. Now we're discussing the weather. Glad I tuned in. Bro, you they're turning against you, Eric. You can always leave, bro. It's funny with the pink poop emoji. Very well done, Vanessa. It's chilly here for us, 56. It's only supposed to be a high of 48 tomorrow. Oh wow, that's downright balmy over there, Tom. Vanessa says, I need to watch that. I really enjoyed last week's episode. You and Tim work well together. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. The podcasts are great. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate you. All right. Well, here we go. We are doing It Belongs in a Museum. And these are games that are older, not necessarily old, but older. And we like to make it a little bit fun. I'm going to give you some clues as to the games that we're going to be talking about. What podcast didn't know you were on a podcast? Okay, it's over on the Dice Tower. It's actually a video that you can watch, but it is kind of a podcast style. We don't really do a lot of flashy editing or anything like that. Other than if we're talking about a game, we'll put the box game up and some of the board game stats. But it's called the Western Contingent with Tim and Sam. And we've recorded 7 episodes now. I think there are only 5 that are out there in the wild, 6 and 7. 6 is going up this weekend, and then 7 will go up next weekend. But we basically do this once a week where we just kind of sit down, and the basic format is we have a few minutes of just, shooting the breeze for a little bit. And then the first, kind of segment, the middle segment is where we just kind of talk about some games, usually 2 or 3 games that we've both been playing. Well, not both of us have been playing those games, but 2 or 3 games that I've been playing, 2 or 3 games that he's been playing. And then the rest, and that usually takes about 25 to 30 minutes. And then the rest of the episode, which is usually about 25 to 30 minutes. We try to keep it up to a little bit less than an hour. We talk about a topic that either Tim or I want to talk about. And the last one was called, was a discussion about omni gamers, or people that say they are an omni gamer. And what does that mean? What do they mean, and is it any good to tell people that you're an omni gamer? So that's kind of the discussion that we had. We've talked about other things in the past. For example, upgraded components in Kickstarters. We've talked about a discussion that I brought up one time on Smorgasbord over on the Dice Tower, where we talked about, using the word easy on when we talk to people about games, and new people coming into the hobby about games, and the pros and cons of doing that. So we talk about a number of different things. The last 2 episodes that we've recorded. Let's see, we talked about the most recent episode that is going to go up next week, not this week, that we recorded. We talked about gaming at a convention, and how, if you've never been to a convention, how does that happen? What do you need to do? And how do you need to go into that kind of situation, if you should even go to conventions, was kind of touched on a little bit as well. So that was that one. And for the life of me right now, I can't remember what we talked about last week for episode 6. It's going to be coming out this Saturday, but I haven't edited it yet. So still trying to set up my new computer for editing. So If I can't get it set up today, I'm just going to use my old rig until I can get it set up. So it will be edited. It will be coming out, but I just haven't got it done yet. Did Eric just compliment Sam? That the cold is really affecting people. I watched those, have seen everyone so far. Oh, okay, cool. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate you. All right, so It Belongs in a Museum is a series of videos that we are continuing. We took a break over the holidays because I had so much going on. We still did, mailing out those giveaways does take time. Not a whole lot of time, don't get me wrong, but it is time. And back during the holidays, I was really crunched. So we kind of took a break from the giveaways, but we're going to start right back in, and we're going to continue them every Tuesday. It Belongs in a Museum, and we'll be giving away a couple of games. We'll be giving away some prizes. It won't necessarily be the games that we go over, because those are games that are in my collection, and I'm kind of revisiting if they should stay in my collection or if they shouldn't. And normally what we do is we kind of do a second live stream. Tonight we can't because we have some church meetings that we have we're doing today, Wednesday and Friday, Thursday. We're doing our church is doing some they're called church camp meetings, and it's kind of like along the veins of like a revival services, but not really. We're just trying to get our pastoral staff wants us to kind of get all on the same page as we go into the new year. And so we've been doing a little devotional series called Stoked, or rather just Stoke, because the idea is when you stoke a fire, you're stirring the embers so that it can burn hotter. And so we've been doing that for the last 3 weeks, and we're going to hit into these 3 church services this week, just to kind of, the idea is just everybody get on the same page, start moving forward into the new year. So those, that first service is starting tonight, so we won't have time because Jess is at work until 3:30. We wouldn't be able to get home until, I have to pick up one of the kids from school at 4 because they're doing a weightlifting thing after school, and so I have to pick them up at 4. That means we wouldn't get back until 4:30, and then I have to be at church at 6 because it starts at 6:30, and I'm serving on Connect Team this month, at these 3 services, so I have to be there a little bit early for the huddle, and so timing just didn't work out today. I definitely overshared information there. Sorry, didn't mean to do that, but I'm just trying to think, can I? Because as I'm talking to you, I'm like, can we work this in? I think we might be able to work this in. Oh, no, wait, I've got to do this. And I'm still talking as I'm doing all of this thinking up here, so I apologize. Anyway, can't get the extra Throwback Thursdays or Time-Honored Tuesdays. Sorry, Time-Honored Tuesdays. Can't get that live stream in tonight because of our church services. That's the long story short. And so, but we'll try to get that going back next week. So let's go ahead and pull up. Let's see here. What's the podcast called again? It's called The Western Contingent. The Western Contingent with Tim and Sam. That's what it's called. Okay, guessing time. Typing finger. Notice no S. Limbered up. All our church stuff got canceled this week due to the weather. I just joined the choir too. Cool. I used to love singing in the choir. We don't have a choir at our church. We have a praise team. And I've thought many times, because I do also play guitar, but I think they've got things covered. So I don't need to interject myself there. But I like serving on tech crew, which is I'm just a camera operator. And I enjoy doing that. And then I also serve on Connect Team, which is basically what we call door holders. Door holders are, it's based on that verse where, you know, I'd rather be a door house in the house of the Lord than, you know, a door holder in the house of the Lord. So basically what that is, we're kind of just greeters. We greet people. We are there. We have lanyards on so that people can, that basically they know that they can ask us information. We can, you know, hey, where do I take my kid? Well, here, it's over here. Grace Kids is over here. Where do I get more information about this? Well, this is what, you know, that kind of stuff. So we do that. It's all good. We're all friends here. Sweet. Singing hype. What? Way to find some good time to sing with your church. Yes. Thanks, Alexander. I enjoy singing. Awesome. Speak for yourself, Vanessa. Oh, Eric, you're a friend. Hodor. All right, here we go. Let me get to Board Game Geek. If you don't know about Board Game Geek is probably one of the best. Well, I'm sorry, it's not one of. It is the best board game site that I am aware of. There are a lot of good board game sites out there that do a lot of different things, but as a catch-all, I think Board Game Geek is probably the best. And they don't pay me to say that. That is just fact. I use it for a lot of different things, and I support them annually during their support drive in December. I've missed a couple of years, but generally speaking, ever since 2016, I've hit almost every single year. There's been some misses, but I've got it set to where it happens. And so what I'm trying to put forth there is that they're not paying me to say that. I'm just saying it because I believe it. So take that for what it's worth. BoardGameGeek.com is where we usually go for all of these different things. So the first one that we're going to go over today is actually 11 years old. 11 years old. Now, here's the thing. That's not that old. But in board game terms, it's pretty stinking old. When you have, right now, I think the average is around 5,000 games coming out every year. Just realize that that's 5,000 times 11. Yeah, that's 55,000 games old. 55,000 games have come out on average since this game was produced. All right, so just that's why we're calling this older games, not necessarily old games, because to each their own. Everybody has their own barometer, right? But 2014 is the year that this game came out. And some of the mechanisms, as a clue, this is what I usually do. And what we're going to do is, if you can guess properly the game, then either I will send you a package of surprises, usually small surprises, or you can pick someone. If you've already got a surprise, you can pick someone to be the recipient. Usually I want to pick them from the chat. To receive those surprises. And so a couple of the mechanisms are, first of all, dice rolling, and second of all, open drafting. So dice rolling, open drafting, those are your two mechanisms to start off with, and the year was 2014. All right, so I got to put my toque down here, and these are some bags that I am not using in this game. Run, Run, Run. We played this yesterday on a live stream. That was a pretty fun thing, but you can go back and watch that yesterday. That was a very fun time. And let's see, let me get back to live streaming. Here we go. Do that. Live streaming there. There we go. All right. It's really the only one that does what it does. I agree, Vanessa. BGG has a monopoly for sure. I don't know about a monopoly. Nobody in order to do what they do, you had to start a while ago. That's the long and short of it, and they really did. They started a long time ago, and they started procuring that database, and now it's just like the gold standard, right? So it's really hard to do something that, it's really hard to do the same thing that BGG does better than BGG, because BGG's been doing it for a long time, and they've got most of the kinks worked out. What are your most used, the cheaters go to BGG. Probably the most used feature for BGG that I use is just the database. I go there when we're making top 10s, top 5s, bottom 5s, or top 10s. I use their database almost exclusively for whenever I'm trying to devise. I have not kept up my collection on BGG, so I usually just use their database and not my own personal collection. Let's see, Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, nope. Colt Express, nope. I really only use BGG to log plays. Okay, that's cool. King of New York, nope. Undaunted Normandy, nope. Sagrada, nope. Artifacts Inc., bada bing, bada boom. Man, Tom just pulled that out of nowhere. Artifacts Inc. is what we're going to be talking about today. So congratulations, TM. You are the first winner. So if you want a package, then you will need to send me your, actually I probably already have your address somewhere. I'd have to look it up. But if you want to pick somebody else, you could also do that as well. But that is what we're going to be talking about today, Artifacts Incorporated. We will be doing a second one, so just hold your horses if you still want to do that. But you are correct. Other ones, Villainous Vikings, no. La Granja, no. Star Wars Imperial Assault, no. King of New York, no. La Granja, Roll for the Galaxy. Ancient World, ooh, that was good. Roll for the Galaxy, no. I used to own that game. Cheater, Eric says. This is a good one. One of the few I've sold and then repurchased. Congrats. All right, so TM, you figure out what you're going to do and let me know in the chat. Whomever, I'll just go ahead and put this in there, flipsideobg@gmail.com. I know Tom already has that, but there you have it. Flipsideobg@gmail.com is where you would need to send me your address information. But let's go ahead and get down to the table and take a look at Artifacts Incorporated. And I might even pull in a little bit just so that I can make sure. Let me do this. Boy, Strider is cutting some Z's over here, man. Goodness gracious. All right, let's move in just a tad. There we go. That's pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get it focused. That's pretty good. I like it. Okay. So, as we are looking at, I'll go ahead and put the picture-in-picture there. Do have some dust on there. I apologize for that, but it's just how it is. Dust is dust. So, Artifacts Incorporated. So as we look at, here are the components that are in there. Some of those dice in there as well. So we'll look at that and in just a few minutes. But the rule book is, it's kind of strange because there isn't a whole lot of illustration in here, and Ryan Lockett does his own illustrations. Now, he's gotten a lot better. This is one of his, you know, I wouldn't say original games, but this is early on in Red Raven's history. And so there is that. He's come a long way, but this is the rule book right here. And then you have all of these different components in here. So what are you doing? All right, so New York, 1929, a frenzy of interest in antiquity is sweeping the nation, with museums hungry for mysterious and exotic artifacts, and you, hungry for adventure, you start up your own archaeology company. Untold wonders await within dangerous jungles, harsh deserts, and wind-swept mountains. Will you gain the reputation as the most intrepid and famous adventurer of all time? It's 2 to 4 players. You compete to grow the most famous archaeology company. Players roll dice representing their troupe of adventurers and place them on cards in order to find artifacts, sell them at museums, and purchase new cards representing their company assets. All right, so there you have what you're basically talking about here. So we have, oh, dadgum, see, I need to replace the bags at the very least. I'm gonna have to after this gets wrecked by me, super duper. But, so that's getting thrown away. Oh, look, you know what? Out of one game and right into another. There we go. These are player colors here with these, but these are just wooden cubes, but I'm not going to take those out. You have those, then you also have these as well. You know what? I'm going to separate those because I can. Might as well, right? Oh my gosh, I hate these things. They're so hard sometimes. Doesn't help that my hands are like really dry right now. But anyway, we've got another, yeah, sweet. See, look at this. I am organizing my games as we speak. So there you have it. Boom, boom, boom. We're on it. And these will go back in here. Blink, blink. Boom. And then you have these dice I like these kinds of dice. These small, kind of rounded corners. Really enjoy how these roll a lot. Then you also have cards. All right, so you have, can't remember what the difference between these cards are. Oh, okay. So you have a couple of cards that are different over here, and then you have these are just, I believe these are different museums that you can sell to, and the different things that you're going to be procuring. So that's what these guys are. And then you have the, basically, again, this is like, component quality is super low, but again, this is an 11-year-old game, all right? So you have a number of different things that you are going to be putting on this, and so you go on different expeditions, and you're going to be doing this in a number of different ways. So, and again, a cool thing about Red Raven is that the designer, Ryan Lockett, is also the artist. And he's also the owner of the company and the publisher, Red Raven Games. So he is a true one-man show, basically. But you can see all of the different artwork that he has. If you look at Red Raven Games, they've really kind of come into their own. So he's using a lot of the same artwork on some of these cards, but just realize that he is the designer is also the artist, and it happens to be done well. So that is that. So you're going to have, you know what, man, it's been so long since I played this game, but that's one of the cool things about this series is that, you know, you're going to have asset cards. Yeah, these are asset cards. They're going to be set up in like a little grid. And then the markets are going to be up here. The public cards, which are these two guys over here, the guidebook and, guide work and the private collectors. Those are going to be things that you can set your dice next to. But I do remember really enjoying this game. I got to get this back to the table for a number of different reasons. I want to play it again to see how much I still like it. But then on top of that as well, I also want to see if Jess is going to like it too. So that's pretty much it. This is one of those games that I really want to get back to the table so that we can see how it goes. Let's see, where else? I guess I'm just going to put this like it was. So all of these little money tokens and the dice will go into one bag here. And then we used rubber bands for the decks of cards. So that will be cool. All right, so Tommy Clay is here. What's up, buddy? Let's see. So Scott Drews, have you won before? No, it belongs in a museum. No, not it belongs in a museum prizes. All right. So I think this game is cool. If you want it, email Sam as long as Z's are the only thing Strider is cutting. Yes, that is exactly. Better than cutting the cheese. Correct. Oh, Eric beat me to it. Thanks, Tom. All right. So Scott Drews, do make sure you email me at flipsideobg@gmail.com, and we will get you a surprise in the mail. Let's see. Oh, that's a first player's card. We need to leave that out. And I think everything else is good to go. Yeah. All right. And then these can kind of go over here along with these because those are kind of set out, and we'll put this in one deck over here because this is a little bit of a different deck over here. So, all right, so that, and yeah, these are all double-sided, so they need to stay over in a just like that. All right, this can go in the box like so. Make sure that the box is staying upright. That goes in here, that goes in here, in there. These can go in here, and that can go in there as well. And that is Artifacts Incorporated. And come back up top, and congratulations, Scott Drew. You are the winner today. He also plays the trumpet and can juggle. Let's see. Luke Shiers, what's the first insert you want to print once you get a 3D printer? Oh, wow. That's a good question. I'd have to look at the games that I have, and I really haven't thought that far down the road yet. I guess I am going to have to talk to JT about it because it's definitely something that I'm interested in. I've already looked into it, but I just wasn't willing to pull the trigger. But if JT's willing to kind of give me a tutorial on how to use his, and I can call him if I have questions and that kind of stuff, then I'm willing to take the plunge. It is a really useful thing for board gamers in the hobby because you can really kind of spruce up your games very easily and relatively inexpensively. So that's a cool thing. And I don't know, Luke, what I would want to do first, but I would probably cut my teeth on something smaller just so that I can make sure that I had everything. Like, for example, and I just say this because it's here, this game has no insert inside of it. And I don't know that I'm going to keep this, but it would be something like this because there's a lot of components in here that are just kind of, I've got them in, I've got it all in plastic baggies, but this could be a game that would benefit greatly from having a 3D printer. So something like this. Wishing for those green striped baggies now, ain't ya? No, I don't want green striped baggies, Eric. Philip Zomberg, do you have a collection of bits and pieces from games either originally misplaced when putting a game away or from a purge of a ruined copy of a game? I don't, because I am, how can I say this? I am usually the one that wants to put a game away, especially if it's one of my games, even at a game night, because I want to try to make sure, at least to a very close ballpark, that everything is still there. That does not mean that I have never lost any pieces. Pieces go missing, but I don't. And if I find it later, if I don't automatically recognize where it goes, then yeah, I'll put it into a box or a drawer. But more often than not, I will remember what it goes to, and I'll immediately go back and put it in. And if I don't, I'll forget about it, and then I'll lose it again, and so forth. So usually, if I find a piece and I know where it goes, I put it away immediately. Tommy Clay says hello. He also plays trumpet and can juggle. No, I can't. Were you talking about Strider? Strider can't juggle. He has no opposable thumbs. Tommy Clay says he loves Artifacts Incorporated. Cool. Haven't played this. Reminds me of Archaeology, though. Yeah, it's similar at the very least in theme. I can't really speak more towards mechanisms or anything, though. I played this game a ton when I first got into the hobby. It's a fun game with a small footprint. Yep, great choice when you're a bit limited on table space. Absolutely. Beware once you start down the path of custom organizers. None of the organizers that come with games are good enough. I was talking about Ryan Lockett. Oh, I see. Well, I don't know that he plays the trumpet or that he juggles, but he is so talented, I would not be surprised. So the guy does everything. That is true, Vanessa. He does. But he's also a really cool guy too. He's very humble and he's very down to earth, and that's probably the two characteristics about him that I love the most. He's such a nice guy. Awesome dude. All right. Numero dos. This one. Oh, well, look at that. I just pulled these two games off the shelf, and they both came from the same year. How about that? 2014. 2014 is the year of production for the next game that we're talking about. So we are moving on a little bit. And a couple of the mechanisms. Oh, look at that. Open drafting. We're going to stick with that one. Open drafting and variable player powers. Open drafting and variable player powers is the first clue. And the second clue is that it was also produced in 2014. So there you have it. Go for it. We will start the guessing process for our second game right now. Yes, I met him at PAX U. Yeah, that's a good one. Good place, good convention. I've used my old 3D printer for a custom first player tokens. Great for first prints. That's cool. When picking an insert, think about how it speeds up setup and tear down more than other factors. No, I totally get that. I totally get that. I was actually, when I was thinking about run, you know, it would help a lot if if all of the different tiles that players are a little bit easier to pull out of the box rather than just you know, pulling them out of the Ziploc bag and pouring them out on the table and then having to stack them up and all that other kind of stuff. That's actually what I was thinking about. Imperial Settlers, no. TI for the drafting game. No, but good guess, Eric. A for effort. Cosmic Encounter. Ooh, he actually tried something else, but no, that is not correct. Continental Express. Captain is Dead. No. Small World. No, that is incorrect as well. Legendary Encounters. No, not it. Belle of the Ball. No. Dice Masters, Tommy. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Among the Stars? No. I remember that game, though. That's a good guess. I almost said Champions of Midgard, but it's not the right year. Very close, though. We are actually in the 10th anniversary, so it was a 2015 release. King of New York. No, Tommy. Roll for the Galaxy. Negative, ma'am. Good try, though, Vanessa. I'm glad to see Vanessa's participating. She must be able to... Corey is here. What's up, Corey? Mission Red Planet. How you doing, Corey? Good to see you, bud. Cash and Gunna. Cash and Gunna? Well, that is a misprint or a mistype. But you know what, Alexander? We're going to give it to you because Cash and Guns is correct. And you were just one letter off on that keyboard. So we're going to go ahead and let you have that. That is correct. Cash and Guns. Now, I've got to turn this around because I'm just that kind of person. I apologize. But yes, Cash and Guns is correct. You didn't have to fix it. All right, Alexander, you actually got it correct. Cash and Guns is the second game we're going to be talking about. Now, this is and this was going to be the next clue. This is actually the second edition. It's not the original. Never played this one before, understood. Cash and Guns was originally made in 2005. So this game is actually 20 years old. The second edition is 11 years old. So again, when we're talking about older games, this is really what we're talking about, at least in the modern era of board games. And what I mean by that is, of course, Monopoly is old. Of course, Sorry is old. Of course, Parcheesi is old. Of course, backgammon, chess, checkers, those are all old games. So, but in the scope of the modern era of board games, this is an old game. This is going on 20 years old. And you think about that and you're like, wow, holy cow. This game has been around for 20 years. This is the second edition made by Repos Productions. And so let's go ahead and get into this real quick. This is actually a really fun game. I do want to say, though, that it does have the moniker that a lot of people are divisive against, and that is that you're going to be pointing guns at people. Gun-shaped foam pieces. All right, so you're going to have these gun-shaped foam pieces, and you're going to be actually pointing at people across the table. Now, the whole point of this is, the theme behind it is that you are gangsters, and you have just pulled off a huge heist, and you're now divvying up the loot, and you do that by... you want to be the one that gets the most loot, so you will be shooting people. And so that's a little bit of a divisive, theme. People that I've spoken to in the past do not like the fact that you're pointing guns at people. Other people don't understand why that's a big issue. But I get it. For me, it's never been that big of an issue, but I can understand where you're coming from. So just take that with a grain of salt. We'll get down to the table here, and here is the rule book. I do want to mention a couple of things real quick as we're going on. If you hear some noise coming from upstairs, we do have contractors working in the house doing a number of different things. Right now, at this point, it's odds and ends. Right now, they're replacing our washing machine. So if you hear some noise, that's what it is. It'll be okay. But here is the rule book, and if you really look at the rule book, that is all that there is. And that's one of the coolest things about this and why it's a cool party game, is that the rules are very simple. What you're basically going to be doing is you put out the loot on the table. Each player secretly chooses the bullet card that they're going to be using, and I'll show these to you later, but you have a hand of cards that is either a bang or a click. And then you also have a card in there that is a bang, 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 which means that even if, it has other rules to it. But anyway, you choose what bullet card you're going to use out of your hand. Then you do the hold up, which is where everybody's going to be pointing the guns at each other. And then you have the opportunity to bow out. If you're like, well, okay, too many people are pointing their guns at me, I'm going to put my gun down and I'm out of this hand. So you're basically taking yourself out of the divvying up of the loot at the end of the round. And then there is the Godfather's privilege, where the Godfather can choose one person to basically be, let's see, each player, once each player has chosen a target, the Godfather can order another player or to change their target. So that he can basically say, no, I want you to point at somebody else. And then you have a courage, where you're going to choose whether or not you stay in or whether you bow out, and that way you get yourself, you keep yourself from being shot. And then everybody that's left, there are some cards in the game that have different effects, and then you're going to share the loot. You basically divvy up the loot as evenly as possible, and you continue to do that until you've gone through the entire game, the entire deck of loot, and then whoever has the most loot is the winner. Each of the different players in the game will have a little bit of a special ability that they can do, which is another really cool thing that I like about it, but that's that. Then you have these are the actual guns that you're going to be using. If you can see, I don't know if you can, but it actually has like caching guns on the actual thing. And the copy that I have here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guns in it. There were expansions that had a number of different things in it, like Tommy guns and double barrel shotguns and all of that kind of thing. But if you get shot, you'll actually take one of these tokens. These are wound tokens. And if you get 3 of these, then you are out. You have been eliminated from the game. So that's another mechanism that's in the game. There is a lot of take that to it as well. These are the loot cards that are in the game, and we'll talk about the different things that we have here. So you have diamonds that are worth a amount of money. You have works of art that this is kind of a set collection type thing, where if you have one, it's worth $4,000. If you have 2, they're both together worth 12. If you have 3, they're all worth 30,000 together. And these are how many points it's basically worth at the end of the game. You also have just like dollars that are out there as well, in 5, 10, and 20, I believe. I don't think there's a 15 in there. But that's the different kinds of loot cards that you have that are in the game. You also have loot cards, which basically allow you to reload. So you get a card back that you have previously used, and that kind of thing. So there's also medic cards, which allow you to heal up to 2 wounds, and so forth. So you get the idea of what we're talking about here. And so it's pretty neat. It's pretty neat. These are the different bullet cards that you're going to be using in the game. And again, I have to try to get this. There we go. So each person will have a hand of 3 bang cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks. And, oh, wait, where's the bang, bang, bang? Oh, maybe they took the bang, bang, bang out of this one. I can't remember because I have played this game with multiple versions. So it looks like this version, they took out the bang, bang, bang cards. But you have 3 bang cards, which is literally you're going to shoot the person that you're pointing at. And then this is like a bluff. So you have a click card that you're just trying to get them to bow out so that you can take their share of the loot or what have you. So that's what the different bullet cards are going to be looking like. And then these are all of the different people that are in the game. This is the Godfather's desk. And so the first person is going to be getting this, and then that also gives them the player aid for the different steps, so that they can run the thing, and so forth and so on. Then you have all of the different people that are in. You have Luca, you have Mr. Black, you have James, you have Farha, you have Pedro, you have Yoko, you have Nikita, and then you also have Deacon. And then this is, at the end of the game, this is going to be awarded to the person who has the most diamonds. So it's an extra $60,000 of points that will be given to the player who has the most diamonds. So as you noticed, maybe you did, the diamonds are usually really low numbers, except for some of them. You know, some of them have high numbers on them, but most of those diamonds have lower numbers and compared to the dollar amounts that are in the game. So the person who has the most diamonds will get an extra 60 grand at the end of the game. And then this is a mini expansion where each person has, you know, kind of another special ability that they can use. And these are all once per game type abilities in the game. So that is Cash and Guns in its entirety. It is a somewhat, wow, that was loud. It is a somewhat polarizing game as far as theme is concerned. But generally speaking, I haven't really run into a lot of people who are of the opinion that they just don't want to play this game. Now, more power to you if you're in that camp. It will not bother me at all. Even if I ask you, hey, do you want to play this game with us? And you say, no, that offends me. I will absolutely say, cool, let's play something else. It doesn't bother me that way. But that being said, I've rarely come into a situation where I pull this game out and I offer it and people, choose not to play it. I've rarely run into that as an occurrence. I feel like I'm about to sneeze, so I'm going to apologize in advance. Oh, okay, maybe not. Might be passing. Might be passing. All right, here we go. So, but that is Cash and Guns. It's a very fun party game. It does have player elimination, so be aware that that is a possibility. But those are the two games that we talked about today, Cash and Guns and Artifacts Incorporated. Let's see, let's get back to what happened? What got picked? Scott Drews was the one that got the first one, so make sure you do that. And Alexander, one thing on Boxing Day I can give away. All right, cool. All right, Alexander, so let's see. Couldn't find a Viking game, LOL. Nope, I couldn't. Sam's OCD. Yep, that's correct. That kind of person. Oh, no, I'm not going to say that. Doing great, brother. Thank you, Corey. Good. Thank you for answering is what I meant. Great to see you here. Is there a difference between the editions? I think there is. A lot of the expansions that came out for the first edition, I think are compatible with the second edition, but I don't think the second edition had that many expansions come out for it. I don't know that they reprinted. I don't remember, honestly, but Ludovic Maublanc is a great designer. He's prolific. He's done a lot of games. He knows what he's doing, and this is a fun game. First edition artwork is really bad. Oh, that's true. I do remember that. I remember Tom with his first edition copy. Some of the female characters got kind of modified, if I can say it that way, with how they were dressed. So I guess I'll provide that caveat. Second edition, we don't really have that problem at all. These commercials are killing me. Sorry, Scott. I caved back in October and got premium. I just couldn't handle the ads anymore. Sorry. Wow, gun pointing. I can't see this game getting a reprint. Maybe not, but it's still available. You can go pick it up. Did you play with your youth group? Yes. Did you get any flack from parents? No, I did not. Cashing Guns got a Harry Potter retheme not that long ago with wands. Huh, that's interesting because wands are weapons, so you're still pointing a weapon at somebody. But that's really funny though. Rethemed with Nerf blasters though, I'd be all in. Yes, sir. I would too. Harry Potter theme sounds kind of cool. I agree. Harry Potter Stupefy was the name of it. Cool. Looks like 7 guns to me. Oh, there's 3, 6, 7, 8. There was 2 stacks of 3 and 1 stack of 2. There's 8 guns in there. I might have to bite the bullet and go ad-free too, Scott says. Well, divisive only when playing with you because they ain't real. That's true. I do watch way more YouTube content than most of the other services I pay for. I never see ads while watching at work, but when I do at home, mobile, same account, weird but thankful. I do too, Scott. That's why I ultimately went premium. Yoko Ono is in the game. Well, Yoko is. I don't know that it's Ono. I don't want to, but I'm rare. Nah, no worries. Not my favorite game, but it has nothing to do with the guns. My game group took the game too personally. That's usually what happens, in my opinion, with Take That games, because that's really what Cash and Guns is. It's a Take That party game with player elimination. And it is possible for people to just get picked on. And that's what a lot of Take That games sometimes can devolve into. So I totally get that. It could have nothing to do at all with the guns being in the game. That's very true. But the one thing that on the surface, that's what most people talk about the most. You're pointing guns at people? How dare you? You know, Bang the Dice games, same thing. You're shooting people across the table? Why would you want to do that? You know, that kind of thing. It's hit or miss, and different strokes for different folks. I'm not judging anybody for whatever you want to say about it, but I usually, at the beginning of the game, you know, just say, hey, you're picking somebody that you're trying to, trying to get them to drop out, and you know you take 3 wounds and you're out of the game. So I just try to explain it away and not try to focus on the fact that you're pointing guns at people. But again, at the end of the day, it's different folks, different strokes for different folks. I own this game and love the realistic gun theme. My kids love this game too, and they always come after me. Yeah, that happens a lot as well. I had friends get into a pretty big argument after a game of Blood on the Clock Tower. It was a bit absurd. Wow. Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I sometimes people just take games too seriously. And when you have games that are really hyped and games where people can be eliminated, and games where you lie about people or you lie to people and then you lie about the fact that you lied to them, people sometimes just can't differentiate between reality and game state. And sometimes the division between those two things gets blurred. And that's when people's emotions really start taking off. And that's one of the reasons why I really don't like those kinds of games. I've played Blood on the Clock Tower, I think, twice now. And I didn't dislike it, maybe 3 times at the retreat. I didn't dislike it, but it's just one of those games where if you know what's going on, it's much more fun than if you don't know what's going on. It's a hard game to learn. It has a very high learning curve. And I don't like games like that, generally speaking. Do you have a top 10 Take That? No, I don't, because I don't really enjoy Take That games as much as other genres, so I haven't really given it that much thought. The game is almost cultish, which is a little unsettling to me. Well, I think that's part of the theme bleeding into everything else. And yeah, there is a huge, well, again, I don't know that it's really huge, but there's a very dedicated following of people that love this game. And that's always a little unsettling for me as well, because they try, it's almost like they're recruiting you to become part of their group of people that will play this game at ad nauseum everywhere. And it's like, you know, there are too many games out here to be like that about any game. So, yeah, I get what you're saying though, Vanessa. Blood Rage #1. You are correct. I don't like deducting games, so I never even tried it. Plus, the theme is a turnoff. Yeah, the theme is a turnoff for me as well. I tried it to appease Jason at the retreat. I tried it a second time. I got roped into, it was either the second or the third time. I can't remember. I got roped into it because Jason said that Tom said he was going to try it. And so I was like, oh, I'd like to try this out with Tom. And then Tom didn't show up. But I think that was more Jason saying that Tom was going to show up than Tom actually saying that he was going to show up. But you never know. 100% Sam. Yep. At Tommy. Prob. All right. Alexander, make sure that you send me an email with your address information in it. Scott Drews, I believe, is the other one that won a prize today. So make sure I have your information. Flipsideobg@gmail.com. And we will get a surprise sent out to you very soon. It is time for me to get done, though. I appreciate everybody joining me. Thank you for coming back for a new year of It Belongs in a Museum. We're going to go ahead and continue this every week, so we'll see you next week on the flip side. Come on back tomorrow for a live review of a game. That'll be in the afternoon tomorrow, probably around 1 o'clock. And we'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care. Vanessa, email me. Same thing. We'll get you. We'll get connected that way. Yes, go ahead and do that.